The Energy Dialogues, brought to you by EnergyNow. The Energy Dialogues is a series of podcasts that showcases companies, events, and topics that are part of our energy industry. And now, your host for today's Energy Dialogue, David Yeager.
Well, hey, Brett, welcome to the EnergyNow Dialogue series.
Thank you, David.
And we appreciate you coming in. I was full disclosure, I was in the production well testing back in the day.
Okay.
Back when we had P tanks and everything flowed into one tank.
Yeah.
And then what's happened to the business over the years, of course, is the volumes have gone up. The volumes of sand have gone up. And as a consequence, they've had to completely reinvent sand separation.
Exactly.
And so maybe just start, what's the history of the company? It said it started 2001. That's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, we've been doing sand separation ever since 2001. So as the wells have changed in Alberta and across North America, we've been basically building bigger units to produce a bigger well. So longer laterals, bigger fracs mean more sand flowing back. So the destructive forces of sand as it flows back to the surface hasn't changed. It's just the amount of sand flowing back has. So
well, that should make it slightly more destructive, shouldn't it?
Well, exactly. yeah, true. So there's a more sand coming back than ever before. So the wells have higher flow rates, higher pressures, and that sand coming back is more dangerous than it ever has been. So taking the sand out upstream of your facilities, your chokes, your pipelines, keeping your plants free of sand is very important, and
absolutely,
and it's a big cost savings for the producer out there. So it's a insurance policy basically against any problems that producers.
Well, I'm sure it's more cost effective when you look at the volumes involved. So who founded the company, where and when?
Sure, the company was founded in 2001 in Calgary, so our head office has been in Calgary since then. Our first field location was in Three Hills, Alberta.
All right.
So we have a second location in Beaver Lodge, Alberta, that we've just opened a couple of years ago.
That's in the middle of the action, isn't it?
Yeah, so just west of Grand Prairie, so right in the middle of the deep basin. So we're very close to all our customers, and that's where we service most of our business out of.
But were the principals of the company, were they gas well testers? Were they production engineers? Where'd the germ of the idea
Gotcha,
come
yeah.
from?
So they were actually producers. They were working at a company called Player Petroleum, I believe, at the time, and they saw the need for a sand technology, so they founded the company, and they came up with an idea, and they built 3 or 4 units, put them in the back of a pickup on a trailer, and towed them around and showed everyone that they could in the industry. That would
give us a try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've grown from that, from the back of a pickup, into a fleet of over 700 units. So we're throughout Western Canada. We have operations
700 sand separation.
Yeah. So we have a fleet in Canada. We're also in Pennsylvania, in the U.S. In Oklahoma, Texas. Now we have a sister company operating in Australia as well.
Okay. Now these are rental units?
These are rental as well. So there's a few of our customers that have seen that as long-term need, as the well produced as long-term, and they've actually purchased these as well. So they're both purchase or rental.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the core business today is a rental service company.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a small percentage of our clients that have seen a need for these things long term. Other than that, most of our clients see the value in having us manage the fleet, having us do all the APSA regulation paperwork. We're actually a APSA owner user program.
Yeah.
So
it's a pressure vessel.
Right, exactly.
I get it. I get it.
So having us handle all the APSA regulations is something that a lot of producers see a lot of value out of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boneyards throughout Western Canada of old equipment that they bought and thought they would need more than they need. So I think over time there's a lot of value into having a service company manage a fleet for you and getting you the right equipment when you need it.
Well, these wells come back like gangbusters, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean that's changed a lot. I mean just in a size perspective, our first vessel was 8-inch diameter, 10 feet long. It looked like a fence post, and now they're 33 feet long and they weigh 35,000 pounds and they're 6,000 psi. So I mean, it just as the wells have changed, so have our vessels.
All right. Changed, and that's the frontline sand separator on the frac flowback.
Exactly right. So the test will run for 3-4 days to a week-ish, and then they'll pull off the test package and they'll put our unit on there, and it's on for X number of months afterwards. To protect all the equipment that's on site after that.
Right. Well, no, that sand takes a long time to. Now, when you were talking sand, I mean, since you're the sand expert of the two of us, when we talk about sand volume,
Sure.
how much has that changed? You know, the amount of sand they're putting in there since your company was founded.
Oh, it's changed exponentially.
I know it has.
So yeah,
I'm hoping you knew the numbers.
Well, not off the top of my head, but I would say in the thousands of percentages. I mean, it's a huge change that they've changed these wells. So I mean, the intervals that we're talking about fracking now, instead of a vertical well with 5-6 meters of pay zone, we're now talking about 2,500 or 3,500 meters of pay zone,
right,
in a horizontal well, right? So the exponential change in the size of the formation that they're fracking has had that much effect on sand. So there's been lots of technologies come and go as far as resin coated sands or different kind of chemical coated sands, and so all of that stuff is kind of producer specific as far as what they believe in or what they've had success with.
Right.
But as far as amount of sand flow back, that has increased.
Skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, I would say in some of the other things I've learned from the production optimization business is that sand hangs around for a long time. How long do you hang around? Are you there? Are you a permanent fixture on that asset, or are you there for 3 months? Or
it really all depends. I mean, I get asked that question all the time from engineers looking at our technologies. How long will I need you, right? And that's a very hard question to answer, and that's as unique as the well is. I mean, we've had everything from a week to I can't tell you how long yet, 5 years plus.
Okay.
So it's really all dependent on the well. I mean, some wells make frac sand on the initial flowback, and then they make formation sand for.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Is
that there's some frac sand comes out for a long time,
right?
And then the formation will deteriorate as well.
Right. Yeah. So we have a lot of customers that'll put something on that site permanently and just leave it there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. So.
And so the competitive marketplace. I mean, obviously. Your VP sales and marketing, so you're gonna say your product is
absolutely
is the best, if not better.
Better, absolutely.
And but is this a competitive business that you're in?
For sure, there's probably 4 or 5 competitors out there. I think there's with differing technologies. Obviously.
Okay.
So there's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess. So we believe in our technology. We have a few advantages over other technologies in our opinion, as far as we have no physical barriers in our vessel, so there's nothing to get clogged or get worn out. So replaceable parts is a big issue when it comes to flowing back high erosion sand. We have no replaceable parts at all. So we have our original vessels that we built in 2001 are still in service today. So we have so we have nothing that actually wears out on our vessels. So there's a lot of there's automation and things that are coming around now that's a little bit different as far as being able to auto ship sand on the fly and things of that nature. So, which comes with some safety risk. Obviously, there's risk when you're dealing with erosive sand, getting it to surface. So, our philosophy is once we get the sand to surface, we basically take all the energy out of the sand. At that point, we would either remove the sand physically by hand, or we would shut in the vessel and flush through the vessel if it's a sour application, so that the vessel doesn't have to be opened in that case. Rather than purging it through other valves, which have a life cycle, and those can also fail and cause some.
Well, those are the assets you're there to protect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, 3 questions because
Sure.
I'm a bit of a nerd because I was in the testing business.
Yeah, no problem.
Is there one type of frac sand that's nastier than others in terms of its abrasiveness on flowback? I mean, is it the synthetics? Is it the Wisconsin white or whatever they call it? Is it?
I can't tell you that for sure. I can say
Honest
that there's
answer.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of probably the biggest concern is when the frac sand breaks apart. So it
becomes smaller.
Exactly. So it pumps down at a nice uniform size, and they pay a lot of money to have the sand be an exact uniform size as they're pumping it down. And obviously, when you're pumping it down at pressures of 10,000 psi plus,
Yeah, it's big. It's big time. Yeah.
right? So some of that sand gets cracked and broken, and you get pieces of rock and all sorts of stuff coming back. So,
Okay.
So one of the biggest challenges is the different sizes of sand that flow back. So our technology it basically produces the velocity of all the flow as it comes back, and it catches multiple sizes of particles as they flow
All right.
back.
Okay, that was nerd technical question number one. Technical question number two. What do you do with this stuff when you clean your equipment out?
Sure. So the operator at that point, they would close the vessel. They would get the sand out of it, and then it would go to a new Alta or
A safe landfill?
Yeah.
Okay.
landfill facility of that
Yeah.
of that sort. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna
So
be-
most of it would head in the back truck basically to the landfill site.
It's
So-
contaminated with
right. Yeah.
hydrocarbons.
Yeah. So it's a mixed oil field waste, I believe, is what they're classified as at that point.
So and the third question, back in the days when I was in the gas testing business, we just flowed everything into a P tank, and the gas went out the top, the liquid stayed in the middle, and the sand hung out the bottom. Does anyone do that anymore? Are your products the superior method of dealing with these big frac flowbacks now?
There's a lot of the producers that still have the sand collecting the bottom of the P tank. I mean,
Okay.
just on volume.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, our vessels are smaller, they're higher pressure, they're up to 6,000 psi, where a P tank, will max out probably around about 1,000 psi.
Okay.
So just for the initial volume, the P tank's 10 times the size. So
Yeah.
our technology would need to be open often.
Yeah. That's what I'm
being
just
said-
thinking of the
right,
volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, we've had quite a few cases now where we've been put upstream of the testers to protect all of their equipment as well, because there's
That's
a lot
the
of
only place
washouts
to.
and-
That's where I'd put you.
Right, exactly.
I'd
right?
put you right past the
Yeah.
wellhead, and
Yeah.
and before everything else that matters.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so sand washes out everything. It doesn't matter what
Yeah,
it is,
no,
if it's
no, it
it's
doesn't.
temporary testing equipment or if it's permanent facilities. Sand is if it doesn't fail today, it'll fail tomorrow type thing. It's
Now, business has been cyclical,
yeah, for sure.
and
to Alberta.
we've come through a couple of tough years, but we are seeing a change in the fracking business.
Yeah.
Where we're running more sand and more stages and stuff like that. So, just in terms of your company, has it recovered? Did you skip the downturn because you're specialized? Is it coming back, or how's the market looking?
I wouldn't say that we skipped the downturn by no means. I mean, that being said, we're not a drilling rig contractor, so
Yeah.
we held fairly steady.
Okay.
A lot of our installs are longer term, so we probably had it. We have felt it later on maybe than a lot of the frontline companies in drilling, for example, right?
Okay.
So it is definitely picked up in the last 6 months or so. I'd
All
say.
right.
I mean, regardless of the external market, it's seemed to pick up a bit for us. So we're pretty happy with how it's been so far.
And we're only not even halfway through 2017.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the year is looking okay.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. The one thing that we're noticing is there's not a lot of long-term plans as far as what we're brought into. I mean, we used to get lists of wells for a year out, where it seems now like a lot of the projects are kind of they're keeping their cards close to their chest, as it
Yeah,
were.
I think they don't. I don't know if they all know how they're going to pay for them yet. I think it's a cash management issue.
Right, and
Okay.
the price of oil is cyclical as it has been. I mean, you could listen to 15 analysts and get 8 different answers as far as how much where the price is going to be. So
My predictions will be out at 3:00.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Believe me, I've got the answers. I'm just kidding.
Oh, good, okay.
I'm just kidding. So look, I think that's outstanding. Do you see product diversification, or are you going to do one thing well, or?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a couple new technologies. We've been doing one thing well for about 16 years now.
That's
so
what it says. Yeah.
yeah. So we have a couple new technologies. We have one technology where we're actually getting into the physical filter market. So we have a new filter that's a synthetic filter. So
Okay.
anything else in the sand filter business is a metal mesh wrap filter.
Yeah.
So the big advantage of the testing that we've done so far is that our differential pressure burst strength of these filters will be about 6 to 7 times what the industry standard is.
Right.
So what that means to the producer is if that filter were to plug up, it would not collapse or fail.
Okay,
It would
that's a
just-
surface product as
Exactly.
well. Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a sand filter on surface.
Right.
Similar to our current tech, it's just more of a physical barrier. So
Okay.
even though we believe the best way to go is without a physical barrier, it's a secondary offering for someone that wants to catch a particular size of sand
Oh,
particles.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, look, congratulations.
Well, thanks very much.
Fascinating.
Yeah, great.
Learned a lot. Everybody who listened to this will learn a lot. You got one more plug-ola. What else do you want to tell the world before we finish up this interview?
Sounds great. Well, we at STI we have the largest fleet of sand separators operating in Western Canada. We've been doing it the longest, so we believe we're the sand experts, and if there's anything we can help you with as far as sand flowback, we'd be happy to help.
Absolutely fascinating. Thanks for your time.
Excellent. Great, Dave.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening, everyone. We encourage you to share this broadcast in your social media channels. Until next time, have a great day.